Hi, welcome to day 19 of the Viewfinder sessions and the third of the unreleased material songs. And this is a track called Losing Side, and this goes way back till just after the Little Angels split up, and I was working with Sony Music, Blair McDonald, the great Blair McDonald at Sony Publishing, to essentially just try and reinvent myself. And even though that period was an enormous misstep, it really was. I think the people that were around me at the time, apart from Blair, I think Blair was fantastic. He sort of said to me one time when I was sort of gnashing my teeth in his office and said, "Oh, I feel like I'm missing the boat." And he just turned around to me and said, "Toby, what boat is there to miss? You've just got to write some great songs, and we'll see what we can do with them," type of thing. And because I'd kind of come out of the Little Angels situation where I'd spent so many years just writing material, and then it would get demoed, and then it would be made into a master with some fantastic players, and then it would be produced by a great producer, and it would eventually emerge through Polydor Music, and 9 times out of 10 it ended up on the radio. I was in a period of my life where none of that was happening, and I wasn't used to it. I'd forgotten what that situation was like. I mean, of course, we'd done it way back in the day when we'd done the early Mr. Thrud demos, and we just hoped for the best, but this was something new again. I'd forgotten what it was, and so I was scrapping around trying to sort of understand myself, and I ended up working with a producer called Hugh. I forget his second name now, but I think it's all in the liner notes of the album. If you want to buy it, you'll know his name then. But this guy had worked with Jerry Rafferty, and he'd also worked quite extensively with the Proclaimers from the two twin brothers, Glaswegian band. And I'd worked with Hugh, and Hugh had said to me, "Look, why don't we just simplify everything? Why don't we just make this into some pure pop music?" And I was also working with Pete Thomas from Elvis Costello's band at the time, who played drums on the last Little Angels record, and we were firm mates, and I was working quite a lot with Pete. I used to go around to his place in Richmond, and we'd mess around with ideas, and he'd tell me he thought something was good or he thought it was bad or whatever. And so that all coincided with Hugh getting involved and Sony giving me a little bit of demo money to work on some material. And so I wrote quite a lot of songs. One was Unfortunate Man, one was this song Losing Side, and there was 2 or 3 others which I may release at some other point. Yeah, it's a kind of it's a funny song. It's very lightweight, but it's got a catchy chorus. And I think even in my worst ebb, even at my lowest moments, I think the one thing I can't get out of myself is a sort of sense of innate understanding of commercial, for want of a better description, pop melodies. I think really I have been a top line writer most of my life, even though I do write everything as a complete piece. I think I do have an ear for melody, and so I think this song represents the thin end of that wedge, if you like, in lots of ways. But it's fun, and I love the drum track. I think Pete Thomas's drum track's brilliant on this. And the guitar player that played guitar on it is a guy called Steve Donnelly, who has worked with some amazing people in the British music scene over the years. And Nicky Boys, one of my friends from Scarborough, the great Nicky Boys bass player, he played bass on it. And it was a great experience. We went into an all analog recording studio near Chiswick. I think it was called Chiswick Reach. And we worked in this studio, and it was fun. But ultimately, sadly, it fell. The whole project and the whole idea fell down because it just simply wasn't strong enough. And I think, and I'll only ever lay the blame at my own feet, really, because I was trying my hardest to be something different after Little Angels. I was so sort of heartbroken about that. And of course, what it did was, after this period where Losing Side was originally recorded, and I came away from that situation thinking, oh, it just sounds too lightweight. That gave birth to the concept of making the Ignorance is Bliss record, which obviously was the polar opposite of that. I think that's probably a good example of me, really, as a Libran. The two sides of the coin. There's nothing in the middle. It's either one thing or the other. Not that I particularly believe in all that, but my wife does, and she's often berating me for not believing it because she says I'm the epitome of a Libran. But there we go. But anyway, yeah, enjoy it. Bit of a kind of curious tune, but I felt it was important to include it.